Hi guys, welcome back to the SA20 League of 2025-26. It's the grand finale today. The Pretoria Capitals are taking on the Sunrisers Eastern Cape to decide who will be the champions of SA20 Season 4. Pretoria Capitals, it's been a superb campaign from them. They started off with a few losses, but then picked themselves up, finished in the top two, won the qualifier one, and they came straight through to the final. Sunrisers Eastern Cape also, they did really well actually. They topped the table. Unfortunately, they lost in the qualifier one, so they had to take the hard route. They went to the qualifier two, completely outplayed the Paarl Royals, won at the Wanderers in the qualifier two, and they have made it through to the final. So it should be a cracker of a game. It's a repeat of the season one final. Even in the SA20 Season 1, if you remember, Sunrisers Eastern Cape took on the Pretoria Capitals in that final as well. Sunrisers Eastern Cape ended up winning that final. So can the Pretoria Capitals get their revenge today? Only time will tell. Sunrisers Eastern Cape have won the toss and elected to bowl first. This match is happening at Newlands in Cape Town. I think that's a good ground to be batting first and posting a total on the board. Nowadays, many teams, as we always said, they always want to bowl first, isn't it? So they continue to bowl first. Obviously, I think in the last few matches, teams have opted to bat first, but Paarl Royals, unfortunately, in the qualifier too, they just couldn't get enough runs on the board. So anything can happen. It can go either way. I think Pretoria Capitals are happy to bat first today. Both teams are going in with an unchanged playing 11. So both teams have not made any changes to their teams. So it's the same team from their previous matches. So all in readiness now. The players are getting ready to enter. And can we see a new champion today? Pretoria Capitals haven't won this tournament before. Sunrisers Eastern Cape have won it twice. They have never missed a final so far. They have made it to all four finals in this SA20 tournament. Their streak in finals is continuing. An amazing team. They have maintained amazing consistency throughout the SA20 seasons. So it's going to be exciting to see whether Sunrisers Eastern Cape can continue to dominate, can continue to get their hands on that trophy once again, or whether Pretoria Capitals can deny them in this all-important final. Sunrisers Eastern Cape's bowling attack has been absolutely brilliant actually, in all honesty. They have had all bases covered. Marco Jansen, Andrik Nokia, James Coles, Senor and Muthuswamy, Chris Green, they have all done their duties with the ball. And even with the bat, if you see Quinton de Kock, Johnny Bairstow, James Coles again with the bat, Matthew Britsky, Jordan Herman, they've had contributions from everyone, and that is why Sunrisers Eastern Cape find themselves in yet another final. Even for Pretoria Capitals, Dewald Brevis, Sherfane Rutherford, the contributions which they have made should not be forgotten. Shai Hope with his century early on in this tournament, Connor Esterhuizen, Bryce Parsons, everyone have made their contributions in Pretoria Capitals as well. Lungi Ngidi with a hat-trick in this tournament. So even they are a star-studded team. They're also not to be taken lightly. So both the openers of Pretoria Capitals making their way out to the middle. Bryce Parsons and Connor Esterhuizen are opening the batting for the Pretoria Capitals. The head-to-head between these two teams as well in this SA20 tournament is still equal. It's 5-all. So even the head-to-head is 50-50 here. Connor Esterhuizen has had some good knocks in this tournament. Only thing is he needs to convert those starts into big scores. That is where I think Connor Esterhuizen has struggled a little bit in the last few matches. And along with him, it's Bryce Parsons, the player of the match in the qualifier one. This all-round performance. Well, the points table doesn't matter now. It's the grand finale. Whoever performs well on the given day will end up winning the trophy. 0% chance of rain, so the full match will happen and we will get a result. So that is good news. No chance of rain whatsoever. So Marco Jansen has the new ball in his hand, and more importantly, I think Connor Esterhuizen is going to take strike for Pretoria Capitals. So it's a clash of a final clash here. Can Sunrisers Eastern Cape win the trophy again, or where can Pretoria Capitals get their hands on that trophy for the very first time? That is what remains to be seen. Obviously, this is the group stage points table. This is how the teams ended up. Sunrisers Eastern Cape as always ending up first place. But that doesn't matter now. Whether they can perform well on the given day. That is what matters. So we're seconds away from starting this game. Marco Janssen is going to be bowling the first over for the Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Connor Esterhuizen is on strike. The all in readiness. Janssen coming over the wicket to Esterhuizen. Ooh, still a bit of shape there from Janssen. And Connor Esterhuizen lets it go. Dot ball to start. Pretoria Capitals have had a decent campaign actually. They've had a really good campaign. They started off with around 3 or 4 losses in their first 5 games. But they picked themselves up from there. They finished in the top 2. Played the qualifier 1. Outplayed Sunrisers Eastern Cape in the qualifier 1. Then came to the final. So it's been a really good campaign for them. That's a wide down the leg side from Janssen. Has to reload that one again. And now Pretoria Capitals have a job on their hands. They need to post a good total on the board if they want to defend it and try and get their hands on that trophy for the very first time. Golden opportunity for them. MI Cape Town defeated the Sunrisers Eastern Cape in last year's SA20 final. Pretoria Capitals, they have a job on their hands. Oh, that's another wide, I think, isn't it? No, it's not. Maybe it brushed the pad on its way. Another dot ball from Marco Janssen. So both teams with an unchanged 11 playing their full strength teams in this final. Pretoria Capitals unchanged from their team in the qualifier 1 win which they got there, and Sunrisers Eastern Cape also unchanged from their qualifier 2. They only made one change in their previous game. Lutho Sipamla came into the 11. Oh, that's edged and taken, and the first wicket goes down here for Pretoria Capitals. Marco Janssen again with the new ball, a little bit of away movement. Connor Esterhuizen poking at it has nicked it through to the slip cordon, and Pretoria Capitals have been rocked early here. Just a hint of away movement. He's so good at this, Marco Janssen. And really good catch at the slip cordon as well. So Pretoria Capitals, not the best of starts for them. Sunrisers Eastern Cape get an early wicket here. Connor Esterhuizen is out for a 4-ball duck, and Pretoria Capitals 0 for 1 after 4 balls. So Shai Hope is the new batter to the crease for Pretoria Capitals, coming in at number 3. Pretoria Capitals have been rocked early here. Not the best of starts. They've lost an early wicket. 5th ball of the over coming up. Oh, on the pads again. Appeal for LBW. Umpire says not out. And Shai Hope will sneak in 1 leg byes. Somehow though, I don't know whether it's a mystery or not, whenever Sunrisers Eastern Cape bowlers are bowling, the conditions are always favouring them, and whenever Sunrisers Eastern Cape batters are batting, the conditions are favouring them. It's been that kind of tournament for them actually. So 1 leg byes it is for Shai Hope. Bryce Parsons is back on strike. The last ball of the over coming up. Need to be a little careful here, Pretoria Capitals. That's a short ball, and Bryce Parsons sways out of it. Another dot ball to finish the over. So just 1 run came from that over, including the wicket of Connor Esterhuizen. And Pretoria Capitals are now 1 for 1 after 1 over. So what a start here from Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Marco Janssen with a superb start, picking up a wicket, conceding only 1 run, and this is exactly what the Sunrisers Eastern Cape are so good at this season, choking oppositions with their bowling. And then they have power stacked up in their batting as well to chase down totals or either set good totals. They are always so good in these games. I mean, take nothing away from Pretoria Capitals. They have also been good in this tournament, but you just get a feeling with the Sunrisers Eastern Cape unit, they are so hard to beat only because of their all-round domination. If you look at their batting, Quinton de Kock, Johnny Bairstow, someone is getting the runs for them. James Coles, there has been an outstanding batting from them. And then you have the bowling with Janssen and Nokia. Luther Sipamla now into the attack and straight away help in the air and taken. Another one goes. What is happening here with Pretoria Capitals? Shai Hope just chipping it in the air, and a really good catch diving forward by the fielder at covers. The second wicket goes down. Lutho Sipamla straight away into the attack, gets another wicket here, and Pretoria Capitals in huge problems here. They've lost 2 wickets now for just 1 run. This is supposed to be a final. And the Sunrisers Eastern Cape are off to a flyer here. Shai Hope is out for 1. Pretoria Capitals 1 for 2 after 1.1 overs. So Dewald Brevis is the new batter to the crease. He's come in so early actually. I don't think he would be familiar with this situation. 1 for 2. Obviously, Pretoria Capitals was 7 for 5 against the Joburg Super Kings early on in this tournament. And they went on to win that game courtesy a partnership from Dewald Brevis and Sharfin Rutherford. So they have bounced back from these situations. But you don't want to get yourself into those situations again and again. That is not the ideal. You don't want to be getting in yourself into those situations. Not every day you can win matches from those situations. That's punched away by Brevis. Gets off the mark with a single. So Bryce Parsons is back on strike. Shai Hope not able to make a contribution today on the big day. A very soft dismissal there from Shai Hope. Normally you don't see those kind of dismissals from him. A very, very quality and class batter, getting out in a very, very soft way. That's full this time, driven by Bryce Parsons straight to covers. Another dot ball from Sipamla. This time on the stumps, and Bryce Parsons defends it towards point. Another dot ball from Sipamla. So once again Sunrisers Eastern Cape getting off to a good start here and already in control of this game, can be said, although still a long way to go. But Pretoria Capitals are under serious pressure once again, and once again they need to do something from here if they want to post a good total on the board and try and make a match out of this. It's been a struggle actually. The previous game, Paul Royals, we saw they crawled their way to 114 and then couldn't defend it by a long way, and now Pretoria Capitals find themselves in this position. Something about the Sunrisers Eastern Cape unit actually, they just continue to deliver time and again whenever it's needed. Just unstoppable in these tournaments. As Bryce Parsons gets off the mark with a single here. Dewald Brevis now back on strike. Remember, against Joburg Super Kings, Pretoria Capitals was 7 for 5. They got to 143 and then defended it in that game. Brevis needs to play an important knock again. That's flicked away by Brevis. Finds the gap. That should run away for 4. Yes, it does. So the first boundary of the innings, it was full and on the pads from Lutho Sipamla. And beautifully flicked away by Dewald Brevis. Picks up the first boundary of this innings and a boundary to finish that over. 6 runs came from that over, including the wicket of Shai Hope. And Pretoria Capitals are now 7 for 2 after 2 overs. So Marco Janssen now into his second over, and that's back of the length. Bryce Parsons defends it towards point and picks up another single to start the over. Dewald Brevis back on strike, and once again the responsibility is on the shoulders of Dewald Brevis. I'm really wondering what would have happened if Pretoria Capitals didn't get a batter like Dewald Brevis actually. He has been the most consistent batter in this season for Pretoria Capitals, along with obviously Sharfin Rutherford as well. The contributions that both of them have made have been really important for this team actually. The top order has always been inconsistent, and that has been an issue with Pretoria Capitals this season. It's outside the off stump. Dewald Brevis lets it go. Another dot ball from Marco Janssen. Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Can they get hold of that trophy once again? They lost it last year. They are here again in the final. Dewald Brevis, what a season it has been. Can he be the man for Pretoria Capitals on this big day? That's defended again by Brevis towards deep extra covers, towards deep point, and picks up another single. Bryce Parsons is back on strike. Over the last 1 year or so, we have seen a lot of new champions across various tournaments. So according to that trend, Pretoria Capitals need to win this tournament and get their new championship. But obviously, sports doesn't know trends. It knows only performance on a given day. But it has to be said, I think the teams are starting to perform really well. And so on the pads again, Bryce Parsons flicks it away and picks up another single. Two more deliveries left in this over. Dewald Brevis back on strike. Janssen now coming around the wicket. It's driven again by Brevis towards deep point. Picks up another single. So I think this is sensible batting from both these batters. Try and see off this hard period, and then maybe in the middle overs they can try to attack a little bit. We don't want to end up in a situation like what Paul Royals ended up in the previous game, the qualifier 2. I mean, that was just seriously, I don't even know how to describe that in words. They played their full 20 overs and scored only 114 runs, and then in the end it was a cakewalk for Sunrisers Eastern Cape. That's back of the length again. Bryce Parsons looking to drive, misses it. Another dot ball to finish the over. So another good over from Janssen here. Just 4 runs came from that over, and Pretoria Capitals are now 11 for 2 after 3 overs. think as cricket fans, we need to sometimes calm down a little bit, try and handle the pressure actually. Players are also feeling the pressure. As fans also, when we are watching the games, we are also feeling the pressure. So Lutho Sipamla is continuing into his second over. Dewald Brevis is on strike. And that's full again. Brevis drives it back to the bowler. Again a dot ball to start the over. This time it's driven down the ground by Brevis, straight to mid-off. And another dot ball here. I think this is good batting from Dewald Brevis, because I think he knows that, okay, now I need to see off this new ball. Because he knows when he needs to attack. When he can attack, you all know how dangerous he can be. So I think this is sensible batting for now. Try and tackle this hard period. He can be the man for Pretoria Capitals today on a given day. He has shown a lot of talent in this tournament. Short and wide, cut away by Brevis. That'll race away for 4. Little bit of width on offer from Lutho Sipamla. And Brevis latches onto it. Picks up his second boundary in this innings. Need to watch out for him. He can be the man today. Three more deliveries left in this over. Stand back of the length again. Brevis defends it back to the bowler. Another dot ball from Lutho Sipamla. Two more deliveries left in this over. And just if Brevis can bat like this, then definitely Pretoria Capitals have a chance in this game. We still have Sharfin Rutherford to come. We all know how good he has been in this tournament. So there is batting left. If a team can win from 7 for 5, don't underestimate that team. They can still make a comeback. That's driven beautifully by Brevis through the covers for 4 as well. Second boundary in this over. He's so good when he hits through the line, doesn't it? Once again, the margin of error is so small when you're bowling to a batter like Dewald Brevis. Moves to 15 now from just 10 balls. So last ball of the over coming up. Oh, it's on the patch. It's flicked away. No one there. And another boundary. 3 boundaries in that over from Brevis. An expensive over from Lutho Sipamla. 12 runs came from that over. And Pretoria Capitals are now 23 for 2 after 4 overs. I'll just give you a stat actually. The Sunrisers Eastern Cape have never lost a match while chasing in this particular edition of the SA20 tournament. So it's going to be a hard task for Pretoria Capitals. They need to post a total and then try and defend it. against Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Sunrisers Eastern Cape have lost only 4 matches till now. All the 4, including the qualifier one, Sunrisers Eastern Cape have lost only 4 matches in this tournament so far. All the 4 losses came while defending totals. They haven't lost while chasing, and maybe that is the reason why Sunrisers Eastern Cape won the toss and elected to bowl first today. So Pretoria Capitals have a job on their hands. Andrik Nokia is the new bowler into the attack now for Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Bryce Parsons on strike. On the patch, flicked away by Bryce Parsons straight to mid-wicket. Again a dot ball to start the over. Still batting to come, Jordan Cox, Sharfane Rutherford, Roston Chase. So there is batting left. Need a partnership here. Counter-attacking is very important actually against the Sunrisers bowlers, because they never give you an inch. Andrik Nokia, Marco Janssen, they've all been so good in this tournament so far. That's flicked away by Parsons towards deep mid-wicket. They're going to push for 2. No, they are not. Just a single for Bryce Parsons. So Brevis is back on strike. So third ball of the over coming up, and this time it's driven down the ground to mid-on, and Brevis picks up another quick single. Good running between the wickets. It's these kind of situations that will test batters like Dewald Brevis. I mean, he's known to play all those powerful shots. He's known to hit all those sixes, boundaries. He's known for all those things. But whether you can handle a pressure. Your team is 1 for 2 in this game, a big final. Can you take your team from there to a good score and win your team the game? I mean, the players get tested in these situations. They gain experience through these situations. It's flicked away by Parsons, looking for the single, can't get it. It's a test of character and test of your game as well. Because in tough situations, you can't. I mean, you will be forced to come out of your comfort zone. I mean, I know that Brevis's comfort zone is to hit sixes and boundaries. Hitting boundaries is the comfort zone for Dewald Brevis. But in these situations, you can't do that, because one bad shot, one mistake, you can lose another wicket. So very important to stay in the situation, play according to the situation, and that is where I think batters like Bryce Parsons, Dewald Brevis now at the crease, they are getting tested, and they will try to adapt themselves, because this is how the players grow and become better players. So we need to see how Dewald Brevis, we already saw it in that match against Joburg Super Kings, where Pretoria Capitals were 7 for 5, and then Brevis and Sharfane Rutherford formed a partnership and took them to a good total. But can you do it again? Can you do it in the big final against the most successful team in the competition? That is the biggest test possible. That's flicked away again by Bryce Parsons, pass mid-on for 4. Once again, just throwing onto the pads, and Bryce Parsons finally picks up his first boundary in this innings, ends the over with a boundary. 6 runs came from that over, and Pretoria Capitals are now 29 for 2 after 5 overs. So current run rate is 5.80, and I think both these batters are doing it well, because it's very important to keep your wickets in hand actually. You need to be careful not to bat too slow and not to bat too aggressive. Try and balance out both. And I think Brevis and Bryce Parsons are trying to do exactly that. And there's a bowling change here. James Coles, he's been wonderful ever since he came into the playing 11 for Sunrisers Eastern Cape. He's been able to deliver with both bat and ball, picking up crucial wickets with the ball. coming in with the bat, hitting those sixes and boundaries, quick cameos. He's coming around the wicket now, and that's driven beautifully by Brevis for 4. Dewald Brevis, he is just absolutely brilliant, isn't he? Picks up another boundary, straight away welcomes James Coles with a boundary. Great way to start the over. This time it's on the stumps again. Dewald Brevis defends it towards covers. Another dot ball from James Coles. So now it looks a little bit better for Pretoria Capitals. They were 1 for 2 at one stage, but these two batters now partnership of 32 from 25 balls. Need to continue this. Here he goes for a slog sweep. That's a strong area for Brevis. That's miles back. Miles back over deep square leg. Dewald Brevis, as usual, counter-attacking the first 6 of the final, and just slug swept it over deep square leg for 6. This time it's a quicker delivery. Brevis drives it on the back foot straight to covers. Another dot ball. 2 more deliveries left in this over. And this time he goes again down the ground. And that's all the way for 6 as well. Second 6 in this over. He's taking down James Coles here. An expensive over here from James Coles. 16 runs from this over already. Still 1 ball left. This time he goes straight down the ground. This time it's short and wide, cut away by Brevis, will pick up 4 here. And what an over this is for Pretoria Capitals. 20 runs came from that over, and Pretoria Capitals are now 49 for 2 after 6 overs after the power play. So Pretoria Capitals are now 49 for 2 after 6 overs, and it's also the time for the strategic timeout. So we come to the end of the strategic timeout, and Senioran Muthuswamy is the new bowler into the attack. Straight away a single to start the over. Brevis is back on strike now. Second ball of the over coming up. 50 comes up for Pretoria Capitals. 50 comes up in 6.2 overs at the loss of 2 wickets. Partnership of 49 from 31 balls. And once again Pretoria Capitals trying to find a way to make a comeback after an early setback. And that is the trait of a champion team, isn't it? Not getting bogged down by the setback, trying to make a comeback from that situation. That is what is very important. Third ball of the over coming up from Muthuswamy. Slow through the air again. Brevis cuts it away towards deep extra covers and picks up another single. 50 partnership comes up between these two batters. Partnership of 50 from 32 balls between Dewald Brevis and Bryce Parsons. And would you believe it, Bryce Parsons has contributed only 9 runs in this partnership. 9 runs from 13 balls. It's been all Dewald Brevis so far. Who again on the stumps, and Parsons defends it towards mid-wicket. Another dot ball here. I still think that if Pretoria Capitals post a decent, like a total of 170 to 180 will be a really good total actually. I don't think Sunrisers Eastern Cape can chase that total easily. As we see here, Bryce Parsons drives it down the ground to long on and picks up another single. But so far, once again, it's been Dewald Brevis with the bat. How often does he do this? 41 from just 20 balls with 6 boundaries and 2 sixers at a strike rate of 205. They call him Baby AB for a reason. Delivering once again. As he goes again down the ground, it's flat, it's hard, it's over long on. Another 6 for Dewald Brevis. How flat did he hit that? Long on was nowhere in the picture. Ends the over with another 6. 9 runs came from that over. And Pretoria Capitals are now 58 for 2 after 7 overs. Well. Dewald Brevis once again. This campaign of Pretoria Capitals will surely be remembered for 2 batters. Dewald Brevis and Sharfane Rutherford. The golden form both of them have been in has been simply outstanding, but still a lot of work to be done from here. They need to get to a competitive total and try and defend it as well. Partnership of 57 from 35 balls between these 2 batters. And even if you look at the previous game, which both these teams played against each other in the qualifier 1, it was again these 2 batters who formed a partnership from a tricky situation and helped Pretoria Capitals get over the line. So these 2 batters have indeed done a lot of work for this franchise this season, although still a lot of work remains to be done. Hendrik Nokia now back into the attack. So I think Sunrisers Eastern Cape have recognized that the spinners are going for runs, so might as well continue with some pace. Bryce Parsons is on strike. Looking to flick it away, leading edge. It lands in open space. And Bryce Parsons picks up another single to finish the over. Bryce Parsons picks up another single to start the over. You also need some luck, isn't it, on the way? That was not a convincing shot from Bryce Parsons, but it somehow landed in open space. So Dewald Brevis is back on strike. Current run rate takes them to 162, which is an okayish kind of a total. You want to get to 187, don't you? In Newlands, Cape Town, I don't know what. You need to get to 170, 180 here. Surely. Second ball of the over coming up. That's back of the length. Guided away by Brevis. Looking for the single. Can't get it. Dot ball here from Nokia. Chris Green is also an option. Need to see when he can come into the attack. But even he, barring that one game against MI Cape Town, I think Chris Green has also not been at his best. That is what has to be said. But still, he's an attacking bowler. Outside edge, extra bounce there for Nokia. It goes towards third man. And Dewald Brevis picks up another single. But how good has this man been, Dewald Brevis? Absolutely brilliant. He won the. He was a. He has won the SA20 with MI Cape Town last year. Had a fantastic season last year as well in this SA20 tournament. Then went to the IPL. Was signed midway by Chennai Super Kings in the IPL. Had a superb back half of the season for CSK, even though the team finished at the bottom of the table in last year's IPL season. Then played for South Africa. Impressed. Scored centuries there as well. Ooh, that's a dipping Yorker. Bryce Parsons looking to flick it away, not able to make connection. Yeah, coming back to Dewald Brevis. He scored centuries in the international T20 as well. He scored a century in Australia. That was a fantastic match-winning century. Now coming here in this SA20, has played some vital knocks under pressure for Pretoria Capitals. Absolutely brilliant, actually. At such a young age, he is really looking good here. A bright prospect for the future, definitely. 2 more deliveries left in this over. Who goes for the drive again? Misses it. Really good bowling here from Nokia. Pace, bounce. That is what you get in South African conditions. The pacers always get these extra bounce. Well, the one surprising thing in this tournament is the Wanderers' conditions in the last couple of matches played there. I mean, generally you expect run fests in Wanderers, but particularly in the last 2 matches, bowlers have gotten a lot of assistance, particularly spinners. Never you will see, very rarely you will see spinners getting assistance in South African conditions. But I don't know what happened to the Wanderers pitch in the last couple of matches. But we see here Bryce Parsons pulls it away, picks up another single to finish the over. So a good over from Nokia there. 3 runs came from that over, and Pretoria Capitals are now 61 for 2 after 8 overs. So Senioran Muthuswamy is continuing into his second over. Conceded 9 runs in his first over when Dewald Brevis is in full flow. No bowler is good enough to stop him. He's on 48 from 23 balls at a strike rate of 208.7. Bryce Parsons hasn't quite got going, but he's giving support to Brevis as he comes down the wicket, hits it in the air, long off, clears long off. That's all the way for 6. So now Bryce Parsons decides that he's going to join the party as well. Advances down the wicket and starts the over with a 6. Straight away pressure back on Muthuswamy. This time it's short and wide, and Bryce Parsons cuts it away towards deep extra covers and picks up another single. Dewald Brevis is back on strike. Current run rate 8.16. They have been so good at this, Pretoria Capitals. Every time an early setback has arisen in this tournament, they have found a way to form a partnership and try and make a comeback. And that is exactly what you need if you need to win championships. I remember a few games as well against MI Cape Town as well. Pretoria Capitals were 2 down early. Still they formed partnerships, got themselves out of those tough situations and managed to win the game. So they have done it multiple times in this tournament. And obviously not to forget that game in which they were 7 for 5 against Joburg Super Kings and then winning from there. So they are a team known to make comebacks like this, and if they can do it once again today, they can try and get their hands on that trophy for the very first time. That's driven down the ground by Bryce Parsons towards long on, picks up another single. Now 170, 180 will be a good total. And then Pretoria Capitals have their bowlers who have been doing well in this tournament. Just need to give your bowlers that cushion of runs on the board, and then the bowlers can do their own job. Gives himself room, drives it straight to covers. Another dot ball from Muthuswamy. Once again Dewald Brevis lining himself up to play the big shot. Last ball of the over. Oh, that's a good delivery, and Brevis punches it down the ground, picks up another single, a half century once again for Dewald Brevis. He has been the half century machine in this tournament, back-to-back half centuries now, 50 from just 26 balls. He came in when Pretoria Capitals were 1 for 2, and once again proving to be the key batter for Pretoria Capitals in this big clash. 6 boundaries and 3 sixers at a strike rate of 192.31. He has been simply brilliant. 10 runs came from that over, and Pretoria Capitals are now 71 for 2 after 9 overs. So this partnership now 70 from 47 balls, and Sunrisers Eastern Cape bowlers feeling the pressure here. They had them at 1 for 2. Shai Hope, Connor Esterhuizen, both of them dismissed early. And once again, one man, Dewald Brevis, has been really brilliant for the Pretoria Capitals. And now Chris Green is the new bowler into the attack. He's going to be bowling over the wicket to Dewald Brevis, I guess. Yeah, over the wicket to Dewald Brevis. And straight away, Brevis going for the big shot. And has got it miles back. Over deep mid-wicket for 6. Once again, straight away trying to put the bowler under pressure. Attacking him with the very first ball of his spell. And clears the boundary. Dewald Brevis at his best. This time it's short and wide, cut away again by Brevis, that races away for 4. This man is simply outstanding and unstoppable tonight. Too short, too much width offered by Chris Green. That's punished to the boundary, 6 and a 4 to start the over. Pressure here on Chris Green. Well, Chris Green straight away put under pressure here by Dewald Brevis. It's not sparing him at all. 6 and a 4 to start the over. And I think they're trying to make some changes to the field now. There's still Jordan Cox, Sherfin Rutherford and Roston Chase to come in next after this. But I'm sure if Pretoria Capitals wins the final today, the player of the tournament will surely be this man on screen, Dewald Brevis. Without any shadow of a doubt. Oh, that's on the stumps, defended back to the bowler. Another dot ball from Chris Green. The current run rate now 8.53. Pretoria Capitals back on track in this innings. They're forming a partnership here. This time full again. And Brevis hits it leg side. They're going to push for 2. No, they are not. Just a single for Dewald Brevis. So Bryce Parsons is back on strike. 2 more deliveries left in this over. Chris Green coming around the wicket, and Bryce Parsons cuts him away towards deep extra covers and picks up another single. 12 runs have come from this over, still 1 ball left. Surely they are setting themselves up to get to 170, 180 I guess, although still a long way to go, but they can get there. Dewald Brevis striking it so well, 61 from 30 balls. It's always whoever performs on the big day Always worth appreciated. Last ball of the over coming up. Shot this time, pulled away again by Brevis towards deep square leg and picks up another single to finish the over. 13 runs came from that over from Chris Green, and Pretoria Capitals are now 84 for 2 after 10 overs at the halfway mark of this innings. Pretoria Capitals were 1 for 2. They needed a partnership. They needed a batter to step up. And who steps up once again? Dewald Brevis. Even Bryce Parsons has also provided good support. 21 from 23 balls with 1 boundary and 1 sixer at a strike rate of 91.30. He's playing the second fiddle to Dewald Brevis because he knows that Dewald Brevis, if he can attack from one end, Bryce Parsons can support him from the other end. So can the Pretoria Capitals finally win this tournament? They lost it in 2023 against the same opposition in the final. They're up against them once again. Senioran Muthuswamy into his third over. That's cut away by Brevis towards deep extra covers and picks up another single to start the over. Just to give you guys information, last year's final, MI Cape Town batted first against Sunrisers Eastern Cape. I'll just give you the stats of that as well. That's punched away by Bryce Parsons straight to covers. Another dot ball. Yeah, MI Cape Town batted first in last year's SA20 final and put on a score of 181 for 8 at the end of their 20 overs, and then in the end defended it. They bowled out Sunrisers Eastern Cape for just 105. So they have done it before. MI Cape Town showed it last year that they can defend a total against Sunrisers Eastern Cape in the final. This time Brevis drives it down the ground to long off and picks up another single. So if Pretoria Capitals can get to a similar kind of a total, get to 180 odd runs, I think that should be enough to win you a cricket match in South African conditions. Because it's all about playing according to the conditions, isn't it, in South Africa? Not every game you need to score 200. Not every game is 200 wicket. In fact, even in this tournament, if you see 140, 160 have been defended. So that's all you need actually on the board. That's hit away down the ground to long on. And Bryce Parsons picks up another single. There's always scoreboard pressure whenever you get those big totals, 180, 190. Not easy to chase those totals down because the scoreboard pressure will get to the chasing team. Not every day you can chase down those kind of totals. Obviously in IPL you will chase down those totals. But that is the difference between IPL and all these other leagues. In these leagues, even low totals can be defended. As we see, Brevis was struggling there, stranded in the middle of the pitch. In the end, makes it back in time. So another dot ball to finish the over. Good over from Muthuswamy there. Just 4 runs came from that over. And Pretoria Capitals are now 88 for 2 after 11 overs. So that is the difference between IPL and other leagues around the world actually. If you see, in IPL obviously the benchmark has increased now, even 200 plus totals, 220, 230, even those totals are not safe. But in other leagues around the world, the conditions vary from place to place. Wanderers Stadium will have one set of conditions. St. George's Park will have one set of conditions. Super Sport Park Centurion will have one set of conditions. Newlands Stadium Cape Town will have one set of conditions. So not everywhere you can score 200. Even in fact in some places you can't even score 160, 170. So the conditions keep on changing and you need to be able to adapt to those conditions. So that is the real challenge in all the other leagues around the world. But in IPL we rarely see conditions changing so much. It will more often than not it will be a batting wicket more often than not, the batters will get a lot of assistance and they'll get to big totals. That's hit back down the ground by Parsons. Long on comes around, does well. Good fielding by Marco Janssen, and Parsons picks up another single. So that is the real difference actually between IPL and the other leagues around the world. So Lutho Sipamla now into his third over, has figures of 1 for 19 in his 2.1 overs. So suddenly now Sunrisers Eastern Cape, I think for the first time in this tournament, are being put under pressure here by the opposition batters. And this is exactly what you need to do. You need to defeat the best team in the competition, counter-attack, put them under pressure. And I think that is what both these batters are doing at the moment, Dewald Brevis and Bryce Parsons. So Dewald Brevis is back on strike. Second ball of the over coming up. It's gone a little quiet in the last 7 balls or so. No boundaries. That's on the pads again. Flicked away by Brevis towards deep mid wicket and picks up another single. Earlier in the day today, Perth Scorchers became the champions of the Big Bash League of 2025-26. It was a amazing performance from Perth Scorchers. Actually, they were really literally unstoppable throughout the Big Bash tournament, and they went on to win their 6th trophy in that tournament. An amazing win for Perth Scorchers. And now all attention turns to this final, to who can get up. He goes over the top, Bryce Parsons, and just clears mid-off. And will that run away for 4? Yes, it does. Fielder puts in a desperate dive, unable to stop it. So another boundary here. Bryce Parsons has also been equally good in this partnership. Partnership now 93 from 62 balls. Three more deliveries left in this over. What a story it has been for Bryce Parsons actually. Throughout the group stage, he was nowhere, struggling for form, was dropped from the 11. And come the qualifier 1 playoffs, he's turning the heat on here. That's gone leg side again towards deep mid wicket. Picks up another single. Gave a player of the match performance in the qualifier 1 and now again in the final as well. 29, run a ball 29 with the bat. Really begin to wonder, was this the same Bryce Parsons who was struggling for form? He was dropped from the playing 11 in the group stage, in all honesty. Connor Esterhuizen and Shai Hope were opening the batting for the Pretoria Capitals in the group stage, and then suddenly they brought back Bryce Parsons, and come the playoffs. So I always talk about peaking at the right time, and Bryce Parsons is peaking at the right time indeed for Pretoria Capitals. Ooh, slow a short ball. Brevis goes for the uppercut, unable to make connection. Another dot ball from Lutho Sipamla. 7 runs have come from this over, still 1 ball left. Can Brevis finish this over well? They still have 8 overs left after this, setting themselves up to get a really big total here. With wickets in hand, you go into the last few overs. You give yourself a best chance of getting to a good total. That's flicked away by Brevis. We're going to push for 2 here for sure. Yes, that's good running between the wickets. Another couple of runs for Dewald Brevis to finish that over. 9 runs came from that over. And Pretoria Capitals are now 97 for 2 after 12 overs. Well, Paul Royals should have done this exact same thing in the qualifier 2 in their previous game, but we saw the exact opposite from them. They stumbled their way to 114, and in the end it became a very, very one-sided win for Sunrisers Eastern Cape. But Paul Royals have been that kind of a team actually. They have blown hot, they have blown cold in this tournament. So very tough to expect consistency from that kind of a team. Same thing happened to Joburg Super Kings also. That's why they also got eliminated. They also lost the eliminator against Paul Royals. So fair to say that 2 of the most consistent teams have ended up playing in this final today. Obviously, Pretoria Capitals also, they suffered some early setbacks. They didn't look like they will qualify for the playoffs, in all honesty, but they are here in the final. They have really picked themselves up. And can they get over the line here? That is the biggest question everyone has on their minds. It will be answered in another few hours. Senioran Muthuswamy now into his last over. None for 23 in his 3 overs so far. And Bryce Parsons comes down the wicket, flicks it away towards deep mid wicket, picks up another single. Coming back for the second year. Oh dear. They're appealing for run out. I think Brevis has made his ground. But Sunrisers Eastern Cape are super confident. This is a huge blow. It's Dewald Brevis actually. Or is it Bryce Parsons? It's Bryce Parsons. Strikers end. Strikers end. They threw it to the strikers end. So Bryce Parsons is in a little bit of trouble. If it has to be said trouble. But I thought he made it back. You need to have a look at the replay here. A good partnership here. Has he made it back? Ooh. He's gone. He's gone here. So they've lost another wicket. The form of run out. Looks like the only way this partnership could have gotten broken. Just inches short of his ground there. So the decision will be out. It is out. So finally, Sunrisers Eastern Cape have broken this partnership. Bryce Parsons is gone. More importantly, Dewald Brevis is still there. Bryce Parsons is gone after scoring 29 from 30 balls. And Pretoria Capitals are now 97 for 3 after 12.1 overs. They tried to take a risk there, pushing for the second, but unfortunately, Bryce Parsons has been found short of his ground. So Sunrisers Eastern Cape finally breaking the partnership. 96-run partnership, 97-run partnership actually, has been broken. And now Jordan Cox is the new batter to the crease. But it has to be said, I think both Dewald Brevis and Bryce Parsons have laid a foundation for the other batters to carry it forward. Jordan Cox is not a bad batter at all. He's a quality batter. He can also find the boundaries. Although his SA20 numbers are not showing that he is very much capable with the bat, but he has done well. We have seen him in the 100 as well, played some good knocks with the bat. And that is why Jordan Cox has been signed by the Pretoria Capitals. Second ball of the over coming up from Muthuswamy. Second ball of the over. That's on the pads, flicked away by Jordan Cox. Gets off the mark with a single. Still 46 deliveries left in this innings. Has to be said, I think a really good partnership between Dewald Brevis and Bryce Parsons. More importantly, Brevis is still there at the crease, batting on 67 from 37 balls. I thought for once that maybe Brevis was in trouble, but luckily the throw came to the striker's end. Short and wide, cut away again by Brevis. Towards deep extra covers, picks up another single. 100 comes up for Pretoria Capitals. 100 comes up in 12.3 overs at the loss of 3 wickets. Another 70 to 80 runs from here can be a really good total. Try and challenge the Sunrisers Eastern Cape in the final. It's on the stumps, beautifully bowled by Muthuswamy. Jordan Cox drives it back to the bowler. Another dot ball. If only Paul Royals had done this in the qualifier too, it would have been so much better. But anyways, that's over. At least now for Pretoria Capitals. They're going well here. That's driven down the ground again by Jordan Cox towards long off and picks up another single. The two best teams are playing in this final, no doubt about that. Because you look at all the eliminated teams so far, they have lacked in one aspect or the other. That is why they have been eliminated. As Brevis comes down the wicket and clears the boundary again. This man is absolutely unstoppable. Once again using his feet, smothering the spin, hits it over long on for 6. A good over from Muthuswamy has been spoilt. 10 runs came from that over. And Pretoria Capitals are now 107 for 3 after 13 overs. So Deval Brevis, it doesn't matter whether Bryce Parsons got out at the other end. He knows to play one way. He'll continue to play that way. 74 from 39 balls now for Deval Brevis. What a player he has been actually. So Muthuswamy has finished his spell, none for 33 in his 4 overs. James Coles is back into the attack. Short and wide, cut away by Jordan Cox towards deep extra covers and picks up another single to start the over. Seven more overs left in this innings. Still Rutherford to come in after this. He has been in superb form as well. James Coles conceded 20 runs in his first over. Back into the attack, trying to get the big wicket of Deval Brevis here, who is set at the crease, approaching 3 figures. 26 runs away from 3 figures, 100 in an SA20 final. Not far away for him, but I don't think he's focusing on that. He's hit it straight back, and has he got a hand on it? I think he has. He's got a hand on it back onto the stumps. What an unfortunate way to get out. Jordan Cox is run out of the non-strikers end. This is exactly why you need to be watching the ball. And you should not be backing up too far. Non-strikers make this mistake more often than not. They are not waiting for the bowler to release the ball. They back up too far. And Jordan Cox has already started walking. I think he knows that he hasn't made his ground. So 2 wickets in quick succession here for Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Well, this is a regular form of dismissal, we can call it maybe these days. We see so many batters getting run out of the non-strikers end in a similar fashion. He is a long way short of his ground here, Jordan Cox. So a decision will be out. Out it is. Another wicket goes down here. Jordan Cox has already started to walk. He's gone after scoring 3 runs from 4 balls. And Pretoria Capitals are now 108 for 4 after 13.2 overs. Very, very unfortunate way to get out for Jordan Cox. But sometimes that is what it is. It's all about luck, isn't it? Sharfane Rutherford now is the new batter to the crease, and we all know what damage both these batters can do when they bat together. How many times we have seen this in this tournament? Both these batters wreaking havoc together. They did it multiple times against MI Cape Town. They did it against Joburg Super Kings, and now here they are again in the final. The last 6 overs remaining after this. And Brevis gives himself room, looks for the big shot. Good fielding at short fine leg. And Brevis picks up another single. Sharfane Rutherford is back on strike. Can he play one final knock on the big day here today? Still have Roston Chase to come in after this, and after that is Keshav Maharaj. They've lost 2 wickets in quick succession. Bryce Parsons and Jordan Cox, both of them getting dismissed. Bryce Parsons was also out in the form of run out. Then Jordan Cox also run out at the non-strikers end. Wickets falling at the wrong time, has to be said. They need another heroic knock from this man, Sharfane Rutherford. It's driven by Rutherford towards deep extra covers. Gets off the mark with a single. 2 more deliveries left in this over. That is why non-strikers need to be very careful actually. Whenever they are backing up too far, they should be careful not to get run out at the non-strikers end, because more often than not, those kind of unfortunate dismissals can occur. But this man doesn't care about unfortunate dismissals, fortunate dismissals. He is only going to play one way, goes over extra covers for 6. His 6th 6 in this innings. Moves to 81 now from 42 balls. What an innings this man is playing in the big final today. Dewald Brevis, remember the name. That kind of a knock. 81 from 42 balls with 7 boundaries and 6 sixers at a strike rate of 192.86. Is trying to take Pretoria Capitals to a really good total here. Short and wide, cut away again. That'll rise away for 4. Yes, it does. Oh, the fielder gets a hand on it. Has he stopped the boundary? No, he hasn't, I think. I think it has gone over the ropes. We'll have a look at that one. I think that's 4 actually. I think the ball just trickled into the fence. A really good effort there by that fielder. But I think it's a boundary to finish the over. So an expensive over once again from James Coles. Got the run out, but has the fielder done well there? Well, I think he's done well actually. I think he's done well there, that fielder. So only a couple of runs to finish that over. But still 11 runs came from that over, and Pretoria Capitals are now 118 for 4 after 14 overs. Six overs left in this innings. 170, 180, that is what they are trying. Pretoria Capitals, they can still get there with these two batters at the crease, Sherfin Rutherford and Dewald Brevis. Obviously Brevis set at the crease, Sherfin Rutherford still getting his iron, has only come to the crease now. 10 and over gets them to 178, which is a really good total. Runs on the board in a final always puts pressure on the chasing team. Marco Janssen now back into the attack, into his third over. Sherfin Rutherford on strike. And it's cut away by Rutherford towards deep point. Deep point fielder comes around. And Rutherford picks up another single to start the over. And this is going to be a good battle actually. Two South Africans going against each other. Marco Janssen will be bowling to Dewald Brevis, who is trying to get to a 3-figure mark here. 83 from 43 balls. Came in when Pretoria Capitals were precariously placed at 1 for 2, and from there he has taken this innings forward. Marco Janssen has great figures so far, 1 for 6 in his 2.1 overs, but these are the middle overs now, and this is where a game can go either way actually. Second ball of the over coming up from Janssen, and it's driven again by Dewald Brevis towards covers and picks up another single. They've gotten themselves to 120. Another 50 to 60 runs will do a lot of good for Pretoria Capitals. Still have more than 5 overs left. Rutherford is back on strike. Third ball of the over coming up. It's back of the length again. Sherfin Rutherford flicks it away towards deep square leg. Picks up another single. So 3 singles in this over from Pretoria Capitals. Still 3 balls left. The thing for Sunrisers Eastern Cape today is that the spinners have been a little expensive today. James Coles, Senioran Muthuswamy, Chris Green, they have been striking in those middle overs, but today they have been a little expensive. So the dependence is on Marco Janssen and Andrik Nokia to get the breakthroughs. That's a wide down the leg side from Janssen. He has to reload that one again. .84 now from 44 balls from Dewald Brevis. 7 boundaries and 6 sixers at a strike rate of 190. Oh, goes for the big shot, swings and misses. That's a good delivery from Janssen. Change of pace, I think. A big swing there from Brevis. Obviously, he knows that these are the slog overs, so have to go for the big shots. Was an off cutter there from Janssen. 2 more deliveries left in this over. And that's driven through the covers by Deval Brevis towards deep extra covers, picks up another single. And this is the good thing about his batting today. I mean, Deval Brevis is a power hitter, we all know that, but he's also able to rotate the strike, take the singles in the middle. And that is the characteristic of a good batter actually. It's not only about going slam bang, not only about playing the big shots, also need to rotate the strikes, take the singles, take the doubles, try and put pressure on the opposition. Sharfin Rutherford is back on strike now. 1 more delivery left in this over. I'm sure Rutherford will go for the big shot. Your last ball of the over. Ooh, goes for the drive, misses it. Another beauty from Janssen. He has been the one bowler who has been so consistent in this tournament with the ball. 5 runs came from that over. And Pretoria Capitals are now 123 for 4 after 15 overs. And it's also the time for the strategic timeout. So we come to the end of the strategic timeout. Chris Green now into his second over. And Rutherford goes for the slog sweep. And that's all the way for 6 over deep mid wicket. Fielder can only watch it sail over. So Sharfin Rutherford also joining in now. His first 6 in this innings. They've got themselves to 130 now. Really good batting. And this time Chris Green pulled his length back and Sharfin Rutherford defends it back to the bowler. Another dot ball. 7 runs from the first 3 balls of this over. Still 3 balls left. Goes again. And that's all the way again. So cleanly does he strike it, Sharfin Rutherford. Continuing his golden form in this tournament. Second 6 in this over. Another expensive over here from Chris Green. 13 runs from this over. Still 2 balls left. Two more deliveries left in this over. Sharfin Rutherford. He is starting to play his own shots now. Counter attack at its best from both these batters. Two more deliveries left in this over. Tossed up outside the off stump. That's cut away towards third man. And Sharfin Rutherford picks up another single. 14 runs have come from this over. Still 1 ball left. Dewald Brevis is back on strike. Both these batters, when they bat together, it's such a treat to watch. A South African and a West Indian at the crease for Pretoria Capitals. $14 runs have come from this over. Brevis is also not going to hold back. He will also go for his shots. Full delivery, good delivery there from Chris Green. Brevis sits it leg side. Picks up another single to finish the over. 15 runs came from that over from Chris Green. And Pretoria Capitals are now 138 for 4 after 16 overs. So 4 overs left in this innings. 10 and over can get them to 180. So 180 I think will be a really good total at this particular venue, and also pressure of a final, pressure of a run chase, everything will be there for Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Dewald Brevis is leading the charts for the most sixes in this tournament. 29 sixes he has hit in this tournament so far. Still there batting on 87 from 48 balls with 7 boundaries and 6 sixers. At a strike rate of 181.25. Hendrik Nokia is back into the attack. So I think they have recognized that spin is going for plenty of runs, so try and operate with pace. You will think that Nokia will bowl the 17th over and the 19th over. That's a full delivery. Brevis hits it down the ground, mid-off does well. Brevis picks up another single to start the over. Sharfin Rutherford is back on strike. This is the thing about Pretoria Capitals actually. Once again coming back from a situation where they were 1 for 2 at one stage. Trying to post a big total on the board. Trying to challenge the mighty Sunrisers Eastern Cape, who have been unstoppable across the 4 editions of SA20. Even though they lost last year's final, still making it to the final all 4 times. You need to give the credit where it's due to Sunrisers Eastern Cape also. Second ball of the over coming up, and that's driven by Rutherford straight to point. Another dot ball here. You really have to give the credit to Marco Janssen and Hendrik Nokia. They have been the best bowlers for Sunrisers Eastern Cape in this tournament by a country mile. Whenever needed, they have always come in. They have bowled economical overs, but You look at the games in which Sunrisers Eastern Cape have lost. More often than not, their spinners have been targeted because they know that Janssen and Norkia, they bowl it so economically. It's very tough to go after them. Might as well go after the spinners, and that is where Sunrisers Eastern Cape have struggled in this tournament mostly. Third ball of the over coming up. Rutherford goes again, high in the air. How far has that gone? Fielder there takes the catch. Is it? No, he's put it down actually. Oh, he's put it down. Oh my God. It went so high in the air. And I think the fielder completely misjudged it there at deep mid-wicket. And how costly is that drop catch going to be? Rutherford couldn't get hold of that. It went so high, couldn't get the distance on that occasion. Oh, that's going to be very, very costly. That is going to be very, very costly. I think Jordan Herman, the fielder, putting down the catch there. I picked up the single. Brevis is back on strike. He's on 88. 3 more deliveries left in this over. Short ball goes for a pull. It's past the keeper. That'll race away for 4. He's into the 90s now. Deval Brevis. I think it was a slower short ball from Nokia. And Brevis just got bad on it. Once it went past the keeper, it was always going to race away for 4. Picks up his 8th boundary in this innings. Moves into the 90s. 8 runs away from a landmark. So another dot ball from Nokia. Brevis hits it straight to covers. 1 more delivery left in this over. 6 runs from this over so far. Oh, in fact, they have picked up the single. Last ball of the over. Rutherford cuts it away. Third man takes the catch. And there's the wicket here. Nokia strikes again. Rutherford has holed out at deep third man. He's very, very disappointed with himself. And they have broken this partnership here, Sunrisers Eastern Cape. It's very tough to go after Nokia. It has that pace and bounce once again. Nokia just looking to use the pace. And it's gone all the way down to third man. A really good catch at third man. And a very important breakthrough at this stage for the Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Deval Brevis, Sharfin Rutherford has to walk back to the pavilion. Disappointed, of course, couldn't hang around for the full 20 overs. Rutherford is gone after scoring 17 runs from 11 balls. And Pretoria Capitals are now 145 for 5 after 17 overs. So Roston Chase is the new batter to the crease. Brevis flicks it away like side. Picks up another. I think the scoreboard crashed actually. Second ball of the over coming up. That's a wide down the leg side from Luthosipamla. Has to reload that one again. Roston Chase is on strike. That's another wide down the leg side from Luthosipamla. Has to reload that one again. The 4 more deliveries left in this over. Scoreboard I think has crashed a little bit. It will come. You just need to be a little patient. Third ball of the over coming up. It's on the stumps again. Roston Chase defends it towards covers. And another dot ball from Luthosipamla. Two more deliveries left in this over. Roston Chase yet to get off the mark. This time it's driven in the air. Could be a simple catch. No, Lance short of long off. And Roston Chase finally gets off the mark with a single. Gives a strike to Dewald Brevis. Two more deliveries left in this over. So Brevis is back on strike. He's on 94 from 52 balls. Two more deliveries left in this over. Fifth ball of the over. Oh, that's a short ball. He's pulled it away. Has it gone all the way? Yes, it has. All the way for 6 and a century to remember for Dewald Brevis. What a knock this has been. Absolutely brilliant. 100 from just 53 balls for this man, who has been the upcoming superstar for South African cricket, has performed on the big day. 100 from 53 balls with 8 boundaries and 7 sixers at a strike rate of 188.68. What a knock this has been. He came in when Pretoria Capitals were 1 for 2, and he's indeed taking the Pretoria Capitals to a really competitive total here. What a knock this has been under pressure. Now 150 also comes onto the board for Pretoria Capitals. 150 comes up in 17.5 overs. Dewald Brevis take a bow. Century on the big day. Can he finish this innings well? Can he take the Pretoria Capitals to around 170, 180 on the board? He's taking guard again, Dewald Brevis. One more delivery left in this over. And unfortunately, the scorecard is still stuck. It's still refreshing. The last ball of the over coming up. And Dewald Brevis picks up another single to finish the over. He flicks it away towards deep mid-wicket. Flicks it away towards deep square leg and picks up another single to finish the over. So 10 runs came from that over, and Pretoria Capitals are now 155 for 5 after 18 overs. Fantastic 6 there from Brevis, took him to the landmark, the 3-figure mark. 100 to remember for him. SA20 final. A big day against the best team in the competition, and he gets a century. Could this be a match-winning century? Can he convert this into a match-winning century? That will be the big question. So Marco Jansen now bowling the penultimate over for Sunrisers Eastern Cape, and Dewald Brevis moves across his stumps and drives it straight to point. There you go. There you have the scorecard. A dot ball to start the over. The second ball of the over coming up. They can still push towards that 180 if Brevis can hit another few big shots. He's hit 7 sixes so far in his innings. Second ball of the over coming up. Goes for reverse sweep. It's up in the air though. Fielder, keeper coming underneath. It takes the catch, and that's the huge one. The huge wicket of Dewald Brevis. Was looking to play a cute little paddle shot. It didn't work out. A simple lollipop catch for the wicket keeper, and the sixth wicket goes down here for Pretoria Capitals. It's a huge wicket because they were looking for a big finish, trying to get to 170, 180. Still have some work to do to get to that total because they have lost their main wicket of Dewald Brevis, who has played a fantastic knock. Each and every Sunrisers Eastern Cape fielder going and congratulating Dewald Brevis for that knock. 101 from just 56 balls with 8 boundaries and 7 sixers at a strike rate of 180.36. He came in when Pretoria Capitals were 1 for 2, and he's taken them to a position where they can finish strongly. It has to be applauded. Dewald Brevis is gone after scoring 101 from 56 balls, and Pretoria Capitals are now 155 for 6 after 18.2 overs. So Keshav Maharaj will come in now for sure. So Keshav Maharaj is the new batter to the crease. 10 balls left in this innings. What can he manage? Wide down the leg side. Appealing here. Appealing. Umpire says not out. Maybe Keshav Maharaj went too far across his stumps. They've gone for the review here. They've gone upstairs for the review, so I need to have a look at this. He went too far across his stumps. That is the biggest thing actually. And Pretoria Capitals losing a few wickets here towards the end. They've run out of batters. Checking for the catch here. Well, I think it's taken the nick actually. No, flat line as the ball passes the bat. It's gone off the pad, so maybe they'll check the LBW. How good has Marco Jansen been in this tournament? Time and again. He's pitching outside leg, so it won't be out. Decision will remain as not out. Sunrisers Eastern Cape will lose a review, but it doesn't matter because we're into the slog overs now. Not out it is. 3 more deliveries left in this over. Can Maharaj find the boundary here? Looking to flick it away. It's gone off the pads. Doesn't even cross the square. Another dot ball from Jansen. Just imagine Pretoria Capitals, the score is 155 and Dewald Brevis has scored 101 out of those 155 runs. It clearly shows how much the other batters of Pretoria Capitals have struggled today. Although Bryce Parsons, I thought, played really well. Two more deliveries left in this over. And he's bowled him here. Another wicket goes. Swing and a miss there from Keshav Maharaj. You miss, I hit. And Jansen gets another. 2 wickets in the over. He's like a machine, isn't it? keeps on taking wickets when the team needs him. What a spell this is turning out to be. Pretoria Capitals were scoring very briskly against the other bowlers, but Janssen says, I am here to take the wickets. Picks up his third wicket of the day. Could this be a double wicket maiden or what? What an over this has been. Keshav Maharaj is out for a 3-ball duck, and Pretoria Capitals are now 155 for 7 after 18.5 overs. So Lizard Williams is the new batter to the crease. It's down to the bowlers now. Roston Chase stuck at the non-striker's end. He's the last recognized batter at the crease. Only one more over left. We were talking about 170, 180, but Pretoria Capitals have lost wickets at the wrong time. And that is where I think they are finding themselves a little bit short with the bat. They were 1 for 2 to start with. Then Bryce Parsons and Dewald Brevis got them out of trouble, that big partnership. Rutherford with hit a few lusty blows. A superb century from Dewald Brevis. But still, I think most of the other batters have failed to contribute, and that is why Pretoria Capitals are in this situation. Last ball of the over coming up from Janssen. Gets bat on it. Lizard Williams, he won't take the single. Another dot ball to finish the over. Double wicket maiden over from Marco Janssen in the penultimate over. What a spell it has been. Marco Janssen finishes his spell 3 for 10 in his 4 overs. And Pretoria Capitals are now 155 for 7 after 19 overs. So could this total be enough? I am not quite sure actually. They've gotten to 155 and they are losing their way. Pretoria Capitals. Dewald Brevis got to a century, but he forgot that he needs to take the team to a competitive total. 155 can still be competitive, but I think it looks like good batting conditions actually. And it has to be said, most of the Pretoria Capitals batters have thrown their wickets away. Hendrik Nokia is bowling the last over. Roston Chase has to provide a good finish here for Pretoria Capitals. It's on strike. Full toss, slices it away towards deep extra covers. Doesn't take the single. So Roston Chase, he wants to keep as much as the strike as possible for him to get a good finish. They've run out of gas. They've run out of batters actually, Pretoria Capitals. Too many wickets falling at the wrong time. Doesn't help the team actually. Sharfin Rutherford got out at the wrong time. Dewald Brevis, after completing his century, got out by attempting a lap shot. Second ball of the over. Oh, Roston Chase swings and misses. 2 dot balls to start. They haven't scored a run in the last couple of overs here. Outstanding bowling from Janssen and Nokia. Still stuck on 155. A double wicket made in the previous over and now 2 dot balls to start this over. Roston Chase has to make connection here. He's not looking comfortable at the crease. Third ball of the over coming up. Oh, it's a good Yorker. It's flicked away. They need to push for 2 here. In fact, it's racing away now. Deep square leg comes around. They'll come back for a second. Good running between the wickets. Couple of runs for Roston Chase. Keeps the strike. 3 more deliveries left in this innings. This is what happens when you're always dependent on only a few batters to get you the runs. So 4th ball of the over coming up. Roston Chase on strike. So slow ball, swings and misses. Hendrik Nokia knows that he's looking leg side, looking for the big shots, unable to make connection. 3 dot balls in this over. Only 2 runs have been scored in the last 10 deliveries. So that clearly shows that the wicket of Brevis has played a huge part in this finish here. They were looking, they could have gotten to 170 by now if Brevis had been there, but he played a shot at the wrong time. Oh, goes for a drive again. Feet going nowhere. It's another dot ball here. What a finish this is turning out to be from the Sunrisers Eastern Cape bowlers. Just 2 runs have been scored in the last 10 overs of a T20 innings. Goodness gracious me. Disaster for Pretoria Capitals. Despite Dewald Brevis scoring the century, they are not able to get the finish with the bat. Last ball of the innings. Full delivery. Roston Chase hits it leg side straight to mid-wicket. Can only pick up a single. What a last couple of overs this has been. 2 wickets and just 3 runs scored in the last 2 overs by Pretoria Capitals. And Pretoria Capitals finished their 20 overs on 158 for 7 at the end of their 20 overs. It has to be said, brilliant death bowling from Marco Jansen and Hendrik Nokia towards the end. Hendrik Nokia finishing with figures of 1 for 19 in his 4 overs. Marco Jansen finishing with figures of 3 for 10 in his 4 overs. Clearly 2 of the best bowlers for Sunrisers Eastern Cape in this SA20 season by a country mile. And they've restricted Pretoria Capitals to 158 for 7. But you need to give credit where it's due as well. Pretoria Capitals, they were 1 for 2 at one stage. From there, Dewald Brevis and Bryce Parsons formed a partnership of 97 from 66 balls between Bryce Parsons and Dewald Brevis. And then Bryce Parsons was run out. Then a short partnership between Brevis and Cox. Then Jordan Cox was unfortunately run out at the non-striker's end. Sharfane Rutherford played a few shots. And Sharfane Rutherford, he scored 17 from just 11 balls. But then he also lost his wicket. Dewald Brevis, an outstanding knock. 101 from 56 balls. A big 100 in the final. But unfortunately, very less support from the other batters, and eventually even he also got out at the wrong time. And just 3 runs have been scored in the last couple of overs of the Pretoria Capitals innings. And could that play a major role in this match? We only need to wait and watch. But 158 is still a decent total. This SA20, we have seen these kind of totals being defended. The pick of the bowlers though, as I mentioned, Marco Jansen 3 for 10 in his 4 overs. Hendrik Nokia 1 for 19 in his 4 overs. Lutho Sipamla also picked up a wicket, 1 for 37 in his 4 overs. But all the spinners got hammered actually today. James Coles none for 31 in his 2 overs. Senioran Muthuswamy none for 33 in his 4 overs. And Chris Green none for 28 in his 2 overs as well. And that is where I think Sunrisers Eastern Cape leaked a few extra runs with the ball. So 158 for 7 Pretoria Capitals. They've got the runs on the board. The Sunrisers Eastern Cape, when they come out to bat, will need 159 runs to win this match from their full quota of 20 overs to win their 3rd trophy in 4 seasons in this SA20 tournament. We'll be back again shortly to cover the run chase. Until then, please stay tuned. So hi guys, welcome back to the run chase here. Quinton de Kock as always starting the run chase in very positive fashion. Starting the run chase with a boundary. 5 runs have been scored from the first 3 balls of this innings. Lungi and Gidi bowling the first over. Johnny Bairstow is now on strike. Oh, that's edged and taken. There's the first wicket for Pretoria Capitals. Just a little bit of away movement there for Lungi and Gidi. And it's taken the nick of Johnny Bairstow through to the keeper. And that is exactly what the Pretoria Capitals wanted. They wanted early breakthroughs. Johnny Bairstow is out first ball. Back of the length delivery there, just nipping away a fraction. And that's all it needed to take the outside edge of Johnny Bairstow. And Pretoria Capitals get their early breakthrough that they were looking for. Lungi and Gidi, the man once again. So Johnny Bairstow is out for a golden duck. And Sunrisers Eastern Cape are now 5 for 1 after 4 balls. So Donald Brave is gone. Matthew Britsky is the new batter to the crease for Sunrisers Eastern Cape. A much needed breakthrough for Pretoria Capitals. They're searching for early wickets. They've got the big one of